Welcome to the People of AI podcast, showcasing inspiring people with interesting stories in the field of artificial intelligence. I'm Ashley Oldacre. Let's jump right in. This podcast is sponsored by Google. Any remarks made by the speakers are their own and are not endorsed by Google. Hi everyone, we're back with season 4 of the People of AI podcast with a lineup of incredible guests, and I'm very excited to bring them on the show and to be able to talk with them and interview them with one of my favorite people, Gus Martins. So hi Gus.
Hi everyone, very glad to be back.
Very excited to be co-hosting with you again. So we're going to kick off season 4. We've already had 3 full seasons of some incredible people come on the show. It's been wild to talk to some incredible people.
Agree. And there were some specific ones that I was, I guess I can say, mesmerized by the way they speak, how, like a lot of stuff that I learned. I work on this every day, and even we are always learning something, and some of those episodes were just amazing. The great part is that you talk to these people, you work with them, collaborate on a project, but you don't really, not always you know their story, where they came from, how did they got there, and then during the episode we learn about it. It's like, oh my god, this is so cool, right? You see another perspective, and that's it's amazing.
It's how community has helped them with their career, essentially, and connecting with the community and growing within the community, I think has been so. That was what the biggest takeaway I took from those episodes. But speaking of the people, I think, one of the things we really want to talk about in this episode today is, what does it mean to be a person of AI? Our show is about people, the people of AI who build the technology, who are in the field, and how they got there, sort of their journeys and their stories around it. And, we started about 2 years ago, and the landscape has changed so much. And so today the goal is just you and I to revisit what that means today to be a person of AI. And you've done some really exciting stuff. And so just remind us of how cool you are.
Thank you. I don't know if I'm cool, but let's say that I'm a person of AI since 2016, 17. I started working, of course, when TensorFlow came out, and when TensorFlow Lite was announced, and then I started to build Android, because I was an Android developer, and I said, oh, this is AI. Back then we only called machine learning. This machine learning thing is very cool, right? Let me try to build something. So I start to build some demos, trying to use the tech, trying to understand. And that was a interesting journey back then, because it was very academic, right? You have to learn a lot of the math and algebra and statistics and all of that, calculus, all of that. And that was cool and all, you have to learn. And as a developer relation, my goal is to help other people succeed with our tech. And if the tech is too hard to understand, people probably will not use. And that's something that we've been working on to make easier for everyone to have access, and more than have access, to improve their products, improve their life, improve their work with these tools, right? So it's my journey to make it easy for everyone. And that, I guess some of the topics you mentioned, it's what's a developer of people. That's something that I ask myself like every week. What's going on? What's changing?
Yeah.
And how should we change to help these people? So this is what I've been doing this year specifically. I've been working with the Gemma models, as I guess everyone that saw me here, that's all I talk about. So I love it. It's the amazing journey. The team is amazing. Everyone involved is such great people, and I like the idea of open models, giving access to more communities, work with the community to empower them. So this is basically what I've been doing since we started doing this. I was already working with Gemma somehow. Now it's available to everyone. So that's a cool part. And you also changed a lot, right? You start doing some other cool stuff.
When I joined Google back in 2017, I was as working sort of as an executive assistant, and then became a program manager in the space of AI. I'm starting to work with the team on Gemini, and the various launches and releases that are going on, and learning more and more about the technology. And so I find that my imposter syndrome is dissipating only very slightly, and so I feel a little bit more comfortable putting myself into this people of AI, into this person of AI category. But A, it's taken a long time, and B, I think a lot of it has to do with the opening up of this technology to the public, and so that's why this question has come up to me these days, because I think anybody that was really involved in the technology and building it and researching it was very clearly a person of AI. But now, with generative AI, that sort of line between, being a person of AI and not is becoming much more blurry. I don't know if you're nodding your head, so I'm assuming yes.
And one thing is, I told my manager back and said, hey, we have to start studying this and talking about this. This is important. And he escalated that to manager, who I don't know until what level it got, but the answer that came back is this AI thing, machine learning back then, was these things are for PhD people, and
Yeah,
we are not PhD people.
right.
So that's not for us. And as of today, that's completely different, right?
It's cool to see how it's spreading.
100%. And sometimes I'm talking to someone, they say, oh, I'm using, I don't know, Gemini to do this specific task. And then I'm like, can it do it? Yeah, it can do very well. And then they show me like, oh, okay, nice.
What you're saying is there's so many use cases that are cropping up that we wouldn't even have imagined. Gus, you and I were talking about this concept of being a person of AI. There's kind of these kind of three buckets of people, right? There's the visionaries, the ones that are driving the research and are driving the technology forward and iterating on the next big thing. Then there are the developers, the ones who are building with the technology and using the technology to build apps and products and more tools to be used that are sort of iterating off of the technology. And then you have sort of this third emerging bucket of consumers, of people who are using it, but they're not just using it, they're using it with the idea of generating something that they can then use it again. So is it fair to apply this question of being a person of AI to all of these three, I would say?
That's a great point. It's like saying who is a developer, right? Who is a developer today?
Right.
I guess anyone can be a developer if they want. The same way that maybe this analogy might not be the best one, but anyone can build a table. Anyone.
Mm-hmm. Or anybody
If the table
can
is
play the piano like your daughter is doing in the background.
well, that's a good sign that the internet's working for her.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. So anyone can play the piano. Anyone can build a table.
Yeah.
As of today, would you like? So is everyone like a table builder? Sorry for my lack of English word here. Is everyone a pianist? Is everyone so?
Right.
May potentially maybe, and I guess for developers is this will be the same. It is getting there, but Gen AI definitely helped in terms of enabling any person to be a developer if they want. Do they need to learn more than just prompting? 100% yes. They can build some things. The tech will improve for they can build more, but there will always be a barrier, right?
Right.
There's
Right.
for that's the same way that even if I can build a table, craft something beautiful, I know the professionals can do way better, and
Right.
developers that really want to live as a developer, they will be able to do way better for many reasons. They understand how everything connects better.
It also comes back to this question of like, do you need to learn how to code anymore?
So I think if you want to, yes, if you want to be a developer, a professional developer, I think yes, makes sense, and it will still make sense for many years. I don't think developers will cease to exist all of a sudden because Gemini or any other model can help you with code. It's I think there's still a long way to go for that we still they're going to be a very good assistant for a long time, if not always. So I think learning to code is important. Gen AI also enables complete new ideas that weren't possible in the past. One thing that I guess we have this is how do you use AI in a very particular way that can change the field. Maybe that's one thing. But if you're just using Gemma model to do something cool, you are using AI for sure, right?
The other thing is, could it also be a mindset? There's a mindset of not just developing a cool technology, but thinking about the bigger picture of developing like intelligence and what that really means and how that applies to our everyday lives to enhance us. And right now, I think there's a lot of thoughts around like productivity, and these tools make us more productive. But being a person of AI, I don't think it. I think, or is it? Is being a person of AI also mean like you're thinking about being more productive, sort of increasing your human strengths by being superhuman with these tools, kind of.
If you're actively building something using AI, maybe you're a person of AI, right? Just everyone, of course, can build something, and one can be. But I don't think everyone that use because if you think everyone that use AI today, if you take a picture on your phone, you're using AI. There's no way
Right.
to escape that. Every
Right.
phone has AI on their camera,
Right.
and so if you're passively using, you're just like a person that maybe you're not building something you don't want to. But if you are building something, actively building, maybe you are. We can say that that's a part of the people of AI, or at least the people that are pushing the field forward, right? So I guess actively pushing the field forward might be a good thing. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and the cool thing is that the tools are getting so much easier that anyone can be there. Anyone. There's
Right.
no
Right. Right.
no barrier. I would say. Of course, you need access to some resources here and there, but it's doable, right? Doable.
You have very clearly researchers who are pushing the field forward, um, and you have developers, but then you can also have consumers. It's like at Google, where we build the technology both so that we can use it, but also so that others can use it. And so it's also really cool to see the random or really curious, creative ways that people are using it, and that can sometimes inform. Can it inform how the tech how tech moves forward, or is it just sort of again about sort of generating something that's out there that then people can use, but that doesn't necessarily inform the direction or the evolution of the field?
That's a good point. It's really hard to. We are in a position today that's hard to define these groups. I would say
Yeah.
the tools are available to everyone, right? So we are limited by our creativity now. How we think about it, how we can apply things, how what we try.
So I know we're sort of not giving any clear definitions about what it means to be a person of AI, but so what would it mean to become a person of AI?
That's something I've been studying for many years. I in the past people say, "Hey, how do I start? I want to start learning this machine." Back then, we only talked about machine learning, not AI. Although machine learning is
Right.
part of AI.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, now today, if you want to start, you have to learn Python, calculus, statistics. You have to do math. You have to learn a little bit. You have to learn Python, which is the main language, was the main language, and then maybe some framework like Keras or something." And a lot of that knowledge is, of course, still very important. But depending on where this person or what this person wants to do, they can right now start building something with Gemini. They can just, if they are a developer and they want to just apply Gemini on their application, their product, they can do this right now without like learning all the inside and details of how the transformers architecture work. And that's fine, right? That's super fine. So we are in a position today that uh, the journey is you can start easy and it can go as hard as you have time to, right?
Right. Definitely the barrier of entry has gone way down. So it's much
Yeah.
easier right now to get into it. And community, being able to access people in the community that are using it, that are building on top of it. I mean, that has exploded. And I think that's really so exciting. But so the next thing I also know a lot of people ask about and wonder about is there is so much information out there. So how do you stay relevant? I mean, it's one thing, as we said, from just using Gemini to building your own model, it's possible now, and there are lots of resources out there for being able to do that. But I know that developers, especially who are in the field and building with it, everybody is just the speed at which this is changing is like mind boggling. It makes your head swirl. So staying relevant, I think, is also an important component of being a person of AI, right?
Depend on who you follow, it's it generates anxiety. Just that.
Right.
Because every
Right.
day, oh, everything is new. While things they are moving, of course.
Yeah.
But it's not every day that we see something that, oh, this is completely new. Oh my god.
Right.
So of course it's important to know, oh, this exists, is so cool. But it's an evolution, right? There's small steps every day. Small steps every day. And one thing that I learned is you just keep going your small steps. Your small steps, you don't need to worry, oh my god, everything's completely new. Uh if you don't know that, you are behind, right? That's false.
Right.
Don't fall for that. That being said, having trusted sources like news that you can follow, like people that, like,
Right.
I don't know, I follow this person, he posts cool stuff,
Yeah.
or channels that put good blog posts out or good videos that, oh, this is what happened, this is new. I use that to keep updated. I have some people that I really like what they write. This is their life, right? It's they work on that. They like to share what they're working on, and but this is a very hard one. It's there's too much noise, too much noise. It's like, and my job is
Yeah.
to help you not fall for all that noise, right?
Right, right, right. I get this question a lot as well, like from, from different, even sort of in the consumer space of, how do I know, like, out of all of these models, like which ones are legitimate? And we have, the LMSys leaderboard, which is, I think, a good enough place to sort of access and view the different metrics of the different models that are out there. But I think, especially in terms of products, how can you tell if this business, if this product is legitimate? And I think that's where the challenge is. And then the other thing is, if you're sort of in an industry and you're sort of also trying to incorporate it, that's also the other challenge. And so I think one of the things I've been saying is, if you are specifically in an industry, look at what already exists within your industry, so it helps narrow the field of search. So staying industry specific, I think, is also a really good place to start. I think
That's a
you're
good
right.
point.
Also, following specific people, I think, is good. People who are actually doing things, who are actually applying the technology and using it, and it shows that it's working. Like, I think that's also really important to see, that the technology is actually working and solving a problem. I like, also, to your point, that, like, I was also confused at one point. I was like, oh gosh, all of these, like Gemini and ChatGPT, all of these new iterations, and how do you keep up with this? And someone was like, well, like, Gemini is just, a better version of Bard, that was a better version of Palm, that was a better. So it's basically the same thing. It's just a better version of it. It's not new. It's just better.
I guess from when you start to work more on the field, it's you get there's a it's a two-edged knife there. You
Yeah.
start to understand better how things work and who are the people that you should listen to. I like to see what people that are building things, that are publishing samples, that are writing stuff, that what they understand. That's one. The problem is that sometimes when you get too much into the weeds
Mm.
and something new happens, you might not pay attention because that I don't think that's gonna be a thing, and then all of a sudden it becomes a big thing. So sometimes you're surprised, right? We were surprised by many disruptive technologies, even though we work on tech. Like, I've been in tech for more than 20 years. And I'm
Yeah.
surprised in some ways. I was like, oh, I didn't think that could work, and it does. So
Right.
stay up to date is tricky. One place I find good people sometimes too that I like talking to is you go to a community event
Yeah.
and you start talking to people and you meet good like people that uh, are very interesting.
Yeah.
So you start listening to what they say, and then let's hear more from that person, right? So that's a way of finding good sources.
You can sometimes match what a person is saying with what they've done. And if what they're saying matches with what they've done, then I think there's a good chance that they know kind of what they're talking about. I'm so lucky I'm around, a whole bunch of people at Google and even externally who are working on this technology. And so I get to learn so much by hearing and being in this kind of environment. And I know that that's one way of doing it. But I think the great thing about our team too is that finding the resources that we produce, whether it's the documentation, whether it's, the ai.google.dev site, whether it's videos, like, Joe Fernandez has a great Build with Google AI series that teaches you how to build things. I mean, those are things that you can, really feel confident in learning more about. And as you said, like the community, seeing people who are going in the, that are going in on GitHub, that are looking at the repositories, that are contributing to them, that are using them, that are building on top of them. Like those are all really great ways of learning and being in a space that you can be more or less sure that you get sort of the right information.
Finding these people and learning from them, I guess that's part of what we do, right? As
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
just that AI field is just too super fast, but this is the same work.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully the People of AI podcast can be a trusted place where you can know for sure that we will bring you the legitimate, interesting people in the space of artificial intelligence that can share life lessons, career lessons to help you along your journey wherever that journey is. So you can count on Gus and I to make sure that we don't steer you astray.
Good. I agree.
If you would like to learn more about our conversation or our guests, check out the links below. Please subscribe, and if you're feeling extra generous, give us a 5-star rating. We would love to hear from you, so leave us a comment. We'll read every one. Until next time, thank you for listening.